we're talking about people, what they know and what they don't know. So when I was in chiropractic school, there was a large legal deal going on called the Wilkes trial. So Chester Wilk was a chiropractor in Park Ridge, Illinois, and he sued him and 4 other chiropractors. They sued the American Medical Association, the American Surgeon Board, the American Hospitals, several groups of medicine.
Yeah.
As a antitrust lawsuit. It was huge.
Oh, wow.
And we kept getting information while we were in school. One of the most interesting things there was the AMA had a hotshot orthopedic come in as their big expert witness that was going to crush the case.
Yeah.
We got really lucky. We had a very good lawyer. And he asked this orthopedic, he said, what's the number one thing that a primary care medical doctor sees in his office? And the guy said, back pain. He said, well, how much of his practice is back pain? He said, 50%. He said, well, how much of his professional career did he study, did he learn diagnosing and treating the low back? And he said 3 hours. So pretty small amount.
Yeah.
And that really
kind of
killed them.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing. It was a giant settlement. The settlement amount was never been released, but to those chiropractors' credit, they donated all that money to chiropractic research.
Wow. That's incredible.
Just like people think there's, everything in medicine is researched. Only about 15% of what medicine does has research to support what they do.
Really?
And I'm not critical of that. I have a medical doctor I see here on a regular basis. So I have something wrong, and they have a very important part in our healthcare system.
Yeah.
But so do chiropractors.
Yeah. I feel that's what
there's enough sick going around that everybody can stay busy. The initial controversy was always about money. If you're the medical doctor in town, I'm the chiropractor in town, I'm seeing Mrs. Smith for a low back, and you're not seeing Mrs. Smith for her low back, you're pissed because you're losing that money. Managed care kind of fixed that. Because when I was first in practice, Burlington Hospital wouldn't do an MRI for me because I'm a chiropractor. We don't do things for chiropractors. So I would send them to Illinois, to NIMSI, because in Illinois you have a different standing with your licensure than you do in Wisconsin as a chiropractor, and they would do them for me. Yeah. Now Burlington Hospital tries to, lure me to use their service, and I'm like, I don't use you because you weren't nice to me before. Yeah. And that all happened because hospitals used to be run by the medical doctors, and they were in business against the chiropractors. Well, now Aurora is run by a corporate America. Yeah. And they're in the business of making money, so they want to do all the MRIs they can. So they'll gladly take chiropractors' MRIs. And that helped. Yeah. It changed all that.
That's crazy. Well, that's the whole thing with medical. I'm sure you probably know much more than I do about it. It seems like it's very it's convoluted in the sense that when someone maybe wants to see what an issue is with like an MRI or something like that, they'll put you through certain hoops to and like you're stating right now that certain people won't take a referral from a chiropractor. That's kind of ridiculous.
Some of that is driven by insurance. Like if you come in today and you have back pain, and let's say you have sciatica, pain down to your foot. Now they're not likely to let me order an MRI on you day one unless you have some neurologic loss, like you have a loss of a reflex or you have real obvious muscle weakness. Then maybe. But they want to see, because statistically you're going to improve without an MRI. I already think you have what the MRI is going to show me, so I'm going to treat you like what I think I'm going to see on the MRI, and you're probably going to get better, and then they save the $1,500 on an MRI. Yeah. So they want to see some conservative care first.
That makes sense.
And then let you order that, because otherwise everyone just blanketly ordering those things.
MRIs.
It's kind of a balance. But insurance companies are making that call, not physicians.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm curious too. So what is the biggest misconception then, I guess, with chiropractic and that you think people have on the outside looking in?
The level of our education. Like the lady today, she's shocked that I can read an AKG and that I took a cardiology class in school and that I could do a pelvic exam if we had
People just think you guys are...
Yeah, that we go to school for 6 weeks. And
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
It's less than it was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's less... I have way less negative interaction with the medical field. I have a lot of medical doctors who refer me patients on a regular basis, and I refer them patients.
Yeah, well, to me, again, someone outside looking in, it would make more sense to do it that way. Have a more, like, if somebody is your primary care doctor, you're deferring to the people that specialize in that specific, like you're figuring out what specific part of the body or, whether it's the lower back or whatever, needs help and then needs fixing, and then I'm going to give you to the person who can best do that. Like maybe I can do something, but I can't do it the best, so why wouldn't I send it to the person who could do it the best? And money was the reason prior.
Money and doctors, we all have egos.
You get the DR, and
we don't like to lose the. I'm very competitive, so I want to get you better, and you have to keep that in check. With are you doing the best thing for the patient? You continuing to treat this patient, is that the best thing for the patient, or is it the best thing for you?
Interesting.
So that's a hard thing to balance.
Makes sense,
I think in general, most medical doctors who don't want to refer to a chiropractor are just fearful for their patient, because I don't want to refer to a doctor that I don't know.
Yeah.
If I send you to an orthopedic, I want to know the orthopedic. I want to know what to expect is going to happen there, because kind of like you're my child and I'm sending you over there to get looked at. If it's a bad situation, you're going to be mad at me.
Yeah, because you referred them.
Yeah, when they get comfortable. Like one of my favorite patient stories, and the man has passed, so I can talk about it. He was a primary care doc, and he had low back pain, and he'd been to 2 of his colleagues, and they had given him meds, and they had injected him, and he was no better. And his son-in-law was a patient of mine. So he said, go see Dr. Dahl. So he came in very skeptical.
Yeah.
And, I got his back better in about 2 weeks, and he thought I was the greatest guy ever. And he brought me a fishing reel, and we had probably a 5-year relationship over that.
Wow.
So that was cool. And he had been a primary care doc. Probably a lot of it was in the time where chiropractors and medical doctors didn't get along. Well, medical doctors put a lot of chiropractors in jail back, in the 50s.
Really? For what?
Practicing medicine without a license. It was what they would bring up the charge and get them arrested, and they always got out. They never had to stay in jail. But they did that. So there was a lot of animosity for those years, but that's getting less and less.
Thanks for watching that last video, guys. Click right over here to see the episode in its entirety, or click over here to subscribe and check out all the other cool shit we have on the channel. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Do it.